Barbara, nice walleye.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful walleye.
No, because I'm confiscating the rod. Look at that.
Good job.
Action is amazing.
Nice walleye. What is that? Sorry, like making pancakes.
It's a flying fish.
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing. When you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven. Raymarine Electronics, Raymarine, simply superior. Pro Sports Boats, tame the waters.
I am normal. I smile all the time. Look at these guys would have a ride.
Yeah.
All these birds they can take pictures of.
Yeah, Phil was looking for them.
What do you think of the walleye rod?
I love this rod.
Are you just saying
Italo,
that?
it's mine now.
Are you just saying that because you mean it?
No, because I'm confiscating the rod. It's on my boat.
Okay, get him in. Get him in. Grab the leader.
Look at that.
Good job.
Action is amazing.
On the main hook too,
Yeah.
not on the stinger.
Yeah.
Good job.
A great rod. I'll take 4 of them.
Look at this. Is that a nice flashy metal flake minnow? This is the Italo's minnow. It's from Fishing Complete. It's about 4 inches long, and you can see that it's really soft plastic, so it's got a lot of action. So the one unique thing about it is that the tail is vertical, like a real fish. It's not perpendicular or 90 degrees in opposing direction. So when this is fished either on a drop shot rig or it's fished on a jig, it looks like a real minnow. So this is one of the minnows that we've been using here on the Detroit River. The other one is made by Crush City. So I've got it right here. This is it right here, and it's called Suspect. And you can see that it's got a little action tail that goes, paddle tail that goes back and forth. I really love this material that the Crush City uses in their grubs because there's like a mesh inside. So you can use it over and over and over again. The Italo's minnow is great, but because it's soft and there isn't a mesh inside, it can break pretty easy. So they come in a nice pack like this. And the one thing that I tell people is that you should be using a jig that has a wire grub barb instead of one that's made out of lead, so that it's easy to insert inside these soft plastics. So whether it's the smaller size or whether it's the 4-inch, these work great when you're jigging in the Detroit River.
This is what?
Okay, anybody's gonna get a net here.
Right here.
You in the net.
Oh,
That's a nice size one, Pat.
whoa.
So Patrizio,
Trampoline. It just
how
came
come
out
you're
of his
fishing
mouth.
today? What about the ICHA tomorrow? Who's doing all the work?
Well, I'm still working here. This is my office right here. I'm controlling everything today from the phone.
How do things look? Weather looks good for tomorrow?
It's great. Everything looks good. It's going to be a good turnout. You're back again.
Yes, I wouldn't miss it.
That's good.
So is this 21 years?
22 years.
22.
Yes.
Man, I'm losing track.
It's gonna be a big celebration in 3 years, so we gotta do fireworks, we'll do everything.
Guy's holding your fish
Yoo-hoo.
behind you.
No, he's got teeth.
I don't know if there are going to be any walleye caught, but I hope the kids get a lot of fun and some.
Well,
white
we
bass
always
and
do
white
down
carp.
there. It's a mixed fish of bass, walleye, perch, gobies, rock bass. It doesn't matter, everything.
Excellent, good. And we're going to have great weather. That's the important thing.
I hope so. Everything looks good for tomorrow.
Okay, back to work. Pat.
All right, okay.
Did I mention that I love the Duck Hit Walleye Series rods for jigging? This is the 6-foot 3-inch. It's called the medium light action, and you can see the code right there. I'll tell you what, this rod is so light, and it's ideal when you're jigging, you know. And I'm using 20-pound braid, by the way, and I have a fluorocarbon leader. So you can see that this is the ghost color braid. It's the Suffix 832. It's white in color. And I've got a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader right here with a little snap on it. And you can see that it's about, I'm going to say about 18 to 20 inches long. Now the reason I'm using a fluorocarbon leader, it's a little bit stiffer. If you just tie the line directly to the braid, there might be a chance when you're jigging of the hook catching the braid, because the braid is very limp, as opposed to the fluorocarbon that's very stiff. The reason I'm using 20-pound, even here in the Detroit River, you can hook pike occasionally and muskie. So a 20-pound might help a little bit. So this is a perfect outfit. It's short. Here on the Detroit River, it can get windy. Today, we're fortunate because it's not too windy. But when it gets windy, you don't want a long rod. So a rod close to 6 feet is perfect when you're jig fishing on the bottom.
Barbara, nice walleye.
Oh, thank you.
I think the stinger makes a difference, Barb.
Yeah, I think so.
Netman Mike's doing his job.
Here we go. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Another nice walleye. Look at that. Look at the color of your
Oh, wow,
jig, too.
yes, nice.
Beautiful.
Perfect eating size, Barb. Beautiful walleye. Honey, well done. I know you lost a few, but it's funny because we put a stinger hook on, and it's got the main hook in its mouth plus the stinger down there. Good job, Barb.
We're here on the Detroit River, and I'm with Mr. Pat Pagano, Mike Atkins, captain. Pat is the net man. Beautiful Barb. Hi, Barb. Everybody's caught walleye. We're vertical jigging in about 30 feet of water. And I heard a drag. Barb's stuck on bottom, which is normal. And we're using all different outfits. I'm using that Duck It walleye rod. Way to go, Barb. You're off. I was going to show you the standard rig here. I'm actually using a lighter jig head. This is a 1/2 ounce. Most of the guys are using 5/8, including Barb. You can see there's a stinger hook right there. And this is the Italo's minnow, that nice slender minnow. And this cut is like the goby color. So I went with a darker one. Barb's using a silver one. And I got a snap on there with 20-pound test fluorocarbon leader. Not that you need it. So you can see that the water's pretty clear. That's really important for the Detroit River. And Mike Atkins is working the electric. So what we're trying to do is literally drift current speed. So with the braid, it's very easy to know when you're on the bottom. So we're just jigging very close to the bottom. Pat and Mike are using more of a snapping technique. You can see the way Pat is snapping his rod. I'm using more of just a gentle jigging technique because I don't want to hurt the fish as much when I set the hook. So I love the Duck It rod because the first 18 inches is nice and soft, so you can really feel everything and detect a bite. And when a fish grabs it, there's a bit of lag time. I'm going to say a second before I set the hook, but then the rest of the rod is nice and firm. So we have a lot of friends out here. You can see all the boats. They're all doing the same thing, drifting and jigging. I don't think anybody's running harnesses. But the reason we're here is the ICHA. So tonight is the sponsor dinner or gala. So it's going to be a wonderful time. Will the magician be there?
Yes.
Good. Attila? Yep. Who's providing the entertainment? You have a disc jockey?
No, I don't believe on those guys. But I like live music with Pat and Nino.
Perfect. Yeah, it's going to be nice to see Nino. Last night we had a beautiful dinner at Mezzo's restaurant, Italian restaurant in Windsor. Great food, great company. So tonight we're going to have the sponsor dinner, and then tomorrow is the big event.
That's it.
All the kids coming out of all ages and adults. Is everybody going to get something?
like prices?
Candy floss, food,
Oh,
everything
we have
provided.
everything. We have actually even Italian pasta from Culini.
Wow.
Also wood burning oven pizza.
Oh, my
barbecue
goodness.
sausages, hamburgers, hot dogs, everything.
That's-
And Italian ice cream too.
Oh man. And everybody gets to fish. They get outfits to use, life jackets.
Right.
Perfect. Okay guys, you know why we're here?
Fish.
To have fun. You know, whenever I'm using soft plastics that are narrow in size, I prefer to use a jig head, no matter what weight it is, that has a wire grub barb. Now, many of you may not be familiar with the difference, but if you look at these two style of jig heads, you can see that there's no lead past the jig head. So there's just the actual hook and then a little wire that has a little bit of a hook. That's called a grub barb. So this aspirin type head, which is the Walleye from VMC, is one of my favorite. I'm going to hold it up here so you can see it. Okay, so you see this is the little wire grub barb. Now, why do I say that it's really good to use these? Because when you're using small diameter soft plastic, if you've got a big chunk of lead here, it'll actually split the plastic, and especially after you get a fish or two. But with this very light wire guard, you can slide it on. Eventually it will tear, but it'll stay on a lot longer and a lot better. And I like this aspirin head because it falls when you're fishing the current, like the Detroit River. It's like a round head with the sides off, so there's eyes there. I don't know that the fish see the eyes, but the way it drops and giving you contact to the bottom, it's almost like a stand-up head when you're fishing it, like this. See the way that's standing up? So it's not a banana head, but when it hits the bottom, it stands more upright just because of the way, it's almost like a barrel shape. Okay, so the Walleye jigs are one of my favorite, and they work really well when they're trying to make contact with the bottom and you don't want to tear your lighter soft plastics, 3-4 inches long, like plastic worms. I even got a fish on. Pat, if I'm lucky, this will be a freshwater drum. What do you think?
What do you mean luck? There's no luck for you. You know, oh, you know what?
It's fighting hard.
Yeah.
I don't want a sturgeon.
You know what?
I think
it's gonna be that
sad bass.
Italian pickerel there.
Hey, I don't mind.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
You know what? With this light rod, it's fighting great.
Yeah, it's a big fish anyway.
Okay, I'm going to try cranking it up,
Oh,
okay?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you mean? Is it a 5-pound walleye?
Oh yeah, sure. It's a 7-pound sheep's head.
Okay, come on, let's get it in the net so we can move the boat. Okay, ready? Come on, head first. Head first. Be Italian. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. What a nice drum.
Wow.
I know they're one of your favorite fish, Pat. I'm so sorry that I caught
me everywhere.
I'm so sorry that I caught the first one, because I know anybody can get a walleye. Look at on that light.
Okay.
This is a ½ ounce. Look at
Wow.
look at beautiful fish. Did you want to kiss it, Pat?
No, not
Okay.
okay.
There it goes. Beautiful. Look at this nice set of stinger hooks. This is our good friend Matthew from Torpedo Products. He makes the steel line that we use when we're using steel line. It's a great line if you're fishing in deeper water and you don't want to use downriggers or diving devices. But he also makes these really nice stinger hooks. I love the fact that he uses red little trebles, and they're just the right size. But the one thing that's very unique, if you look here, you can see that the stinger hooks are on a small clip here, a little tube right there, and you can see that I've pulled it back and I've made the loop a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can show you here. Can you see right there? If I slide this forward, the loop becomes tight. So I haven't seen a stinger hook that applies onto a jig like that. So I'm going to show you. Here's a jig right here. So by pulling this back, I can make the loop bigger, and by pushing it tight, I can make it smaller. So there's no way that that's going to come off. And you can see that on a 4-inch, this is an Italo's minnow, even on a 4-inch minnow, that is just a perfect length. If those fish are biting short, using a stinger hook sometimes can save the day. It makes a difference between losing fish because they don't grab the front hook and getting your limit of fish. So it's a really smart idea. Look for them. They're the Torpedo stinger hooks, and they work great.
Well, I was fishing over in Lake St. Clair, jigging with some swim baits, and they were short biting, so I tried stinger hooks that I had, 2 different types, and they kept coming off, which really wasn't working for me. So I decided to make it into a noose, so that once it's on there, it won't come off, and then afterwards you could easily take it off when you're done at the end of the day.
I think that's a brilliant idea. So the reason I'm interviewing you is because I'm doing a couple of videos. I want people to know about them. I posted one picture, I don't know if you saw it, on Instagram and the 2 Facebook accounts of Pat Pagano holding up a walleye that clearly showed it just had the treble hook from the stinger in its mouth. And I already got somebody saying this morning, I haven't checked my messages, saying, where can I get those? So I went to your website, I copied the link for the trailer hooks, and I posted it. I think if more guys know about it, to me, it's going to be like the staple for stinger hooks or trailer hooks.
Absolutely.
Because you can take them off, put them on, and they don't fall off. I've had the same problem with the ones that have the little bit of rubber, you know, like bobber stop rubber, and also the loop. You can't, unless you tie a knot, but then you can't put another one on top. You got to cut it and redo it.
Right.
So you make a great product. Just want you to know that.
Appreciate that very much.